Hello and welcome to another edition of Movies. Today I'm reviewing a film documentary entitled In the Court of the Crimson King, subtitled King Crimson at 50. As a King Crimson fan, I have been eagerly awaiting this film ever since it was announced it was being made. But first, a bit of their history. Formed in '69, and bearing in mind around the late 60s and early 70s there was an explosion of new music and ideas, all put under the label of progressive rock, as it didn't really conform with any other genres of the music around at the time. In this year, 1969, the band released their first album entitled In the Court of the Crimson King. Now, you may not recognise the title, but I'm sure a lot of music fans will certainly recognise the album cover, because this was a time of wonderful cover design, which probably may have started from Sgt. Pepper through to Roger Dean's designs on the Yes albums and to the simple but iconic and instantly recognisable Dark Side of the Moon, and many other more brilliant album covers were designed in this period. Artists got 12 inches square of cover to work with. The CD format didn't quite cut it. All was not well within King Crimson, and by the end of '69 two of the members thus departed. This started a procession of musicians going through the revolving doors, each bringing fresh ideas and styles. And by 1973, Mr. Fripp began a new line-up, getting rid of his previous personnel, replacing sax with electric violin, and the music took on a darker, heavier style. But still all was not well, and by the end of '74, Fripp announced the dissolution of King Crimson, only to resurrect the band in 1981. Bill Bruford, the only member to survive from the previous lineup, and joined by Tony Levin on bass and Adrian Belew on guitar and vocal. A period of relative stability line-up wise followed. Again the style had changed, but unmistakably King Crimson. Now you may think this may be a bit of a plot spoiler as I'm reviewing a King Crimson documentary, and this is the problem I have with the film. I realised that the film's agenda had changed to King Crimson at 50, but there's very little of the history of the band, with most of the documentary focusing on their 2019 tour, interviews of band members and scenes from rehearsals at various venues. Fripp's difficult nature is alluded to from interviews with Ian MacDonald and Michael Giles, although other members hinted that they themselves were at fault. Even Adrian Belew was a bit miffed after being ousted and pointed out that no new stuff had been produced since his departure. Bill Bruford remained largely supportive of King Crimson, and I think he really enjoyed his '73 to '74 lineup. The current lineup for the live performances involves 3 drummers, where Bill Bruford largely played on his own. He was that good. Not sure what the filmmaker was hoping to achieve with this documentary, as existing King Crimson fans are unlikely to learn anything new, and would-be fans would be none the wiser about King Crimson or its music, as the musical interludes, around 5 seconds each, were way too short to form any opinion. There was a bit of navel gazing by Fripp near the end, perhaps to make him look a bit more human. For me, the only saving grace of this film was that Jamie Muir, the rather eccentric percussionist from '73, was tracked down and interviewed. One album and one tour before he got the hump and left. What I would really like is a proper documentary to be made, sooner rather than later, as most of the band members, past and present, are getting on a bit, and quite a few are dead. And a documentary giving a history of the band and respect and recognition to all the musicians who were involved with the phenomenon that is King Crimson, one of the most original and innovative bands this country has produced. All in all, this was a rather self-indulgent film, a bit like the worst excesses of progressive rock in the 70s. As a footnote, King Crimson was wound up in 2022, as they're all getting a bit old. Thank you for watching. Please comment below. We always respond. Better yet, do like and subscribe, and we will soon see you for more movie reviews.